Okay, my friend, I am going to head out soon, but I want to read this book, so I wouldn't need to bring this book with me. I mean, I might still bring this book. Anyway, I'm just waiting for my wife. She's procrastinating. I'll read from chapter. I'll just read from the default path on chapter 1. This book does not argue for or against any singular way of living, but it contests the idea that the default path is the only way. By default path, I mean a series of decisions and accomplishments needed to be seen as a successful adult. These vary by country, but in the United States, we refer to this as the American dream, which means a life centered around a good job, owning a home, and having a family. Researchers Dorothy Bernstein and David Rubin studied what they call life scripts, which they describe as culturally shared expectations as to the order and timing of life events in a prototypical life course. Their research found remarkable consistency across countries with regard to the events that people expect to occur in their lives. Most of these moments occur before the age of 35. Graduating from school, getting a job, falling in love, and getting married. This means that for many people, expectations of life are centered around a small number of positive events that occur while we are young. Much of the rest of our lives remains unscripted, and when people face inevitable setbacks, they are left without instructions on how to think or feel. While very few young people expect to have one job or career, most still rely on the logic of the default path and assume they need to have everything figured out before the age of 25. This limits the ideas of what we see as possible, and many, including me, internalize the worldly wisdom that John Maynard Keynes once pointed out, that it is better for reputation to fail conventionally than to succeed unconventionally. Since 2017, I've had hundreds of virtual curiosity conversations with people from all around the world about work and life. I've seen the shame of unexpected layoffs, the panic attacks from changing jobs, and the loss of hope people experience when they can't make it work on the particular path they think they are supposed to follow. On top of that, people are ashamed to talk about these things with the people in their lives. This anxiety is not limited to young people. Increasingly, people at the end of traditional work careers tell me they are not excited about their default story of retirement. They still have a desire to engage with the world, but don't know how to make that happen. As of 2018, men and women in developed countries are expected to spend nearly 20 years in retirement. As the baby boomer generation enters this new life stage, bringing with them unprecedented wealth, health, and energy, they will be looking for new stories about how to live their lives. These stories motivate me to keep going on my own journey and give me plenty to write about. Without intending to, I've become a repository of wisdom about how to navigate life and build a better relationship with work. Much of what I learned through these conversations inspired this book. Prior to embracing the Pathless path, I was the friend that people came to when they had career challenges. I once worked closely with a young professional in his mid-20s who wanted to escape his current job. As he described his career options, he told me he could keep progressing at his company and become a partner, or he could take a position at a client's firm and coast, as he put it. Are those the only two options? I asked. Yes, he replied. I listed a few other paths that he considered were possible, but he added, I don't know anyone who has done that. Many people fall into this trap. We are convinced that the only way forward is the path we've been on, or what we've seen people like us do. This is a silent conspiracy that constrains the possibilities of our lives. I was testing out a side gig as a career coach when I first met that young professional. he hated his job and wanted to make a change. As he found a new role, working in another company, he lost all motivation to keep working with me and exploring the things that mattered to him. This disappointed me. I wanted him to see the potential I saw. Yet in my own life, I was doing the same thing. With every new job, I convinced myself I was thriving. But what I was really doing was trying to escape feeling stuck. I was too afraid to have a deeper conversation with myself, the kind that might pull me towards a different kind of life. Why this matters? For most of my life, I've had the gift of seeing the greatness in others. It hurts when I see people stuck or unable to pursue their dreams, and I want to do anything I can to help them. In writing this book, I realized that this has everything to do with my parents. I won the childhood lottery. I had two parents that devoted their lives to creating the best life possible for my siblings and me. They did this by figuring out what they were best at and then giving it their complete commitment. For my mother, it was being an active parent. Right from the start, she had an intuitive sense of my needs. She gave me space to make my own decisions, and I learned how to take ownership of my life. She helped remove any obstacles in my way and helped me grow into a confident adult. At every step of my journey, the courage to take the next step was a direct result of her abundant love and compassion. My father prioritized work. I struggled with this for many years. I wished he was around more. As I got older, however, I realized that this decision was just as hard on him and that he didn't have any other choice. At 19, he took a job at a manufacturing company and didn't think about working anywhere else for another 41 years. The story he told himself throughout his entire career was that he had to work harder than everyone else. Why? He didn't have a degree. As he earned promotions, he found himself surrounded by people with impressive credentials and likely felt more pressure to keep up. Yet he never complained. He woke up every day at 5 a.m., put in 12-hour days, said yes to every single thing asked of him, and in doing so, was able to have a remarkable career and ensured that my siblings and I had more options than he did. My mother also believed that not having a degree held her back, and she was right. A couple of years after college, I helped her apply for a job at another school as a director of financial aid department. The recruiting committee said that her cover letter was one of the best they had seen, and that she was the best candidate, but because she didn't have a degree, they were offering the position to someone else. This hurt me so much. I knew that my mother was smart and capable and that a degree had nothing to do with what she had to offer the world. The best option available for my parents was the default path. This worked remarkably well for them, which is what made living it so damn hard. I know how much they sacrificed so that I would have better career opportunities. However, what they really gave me was so much more than the ability to succeed in school and work. It was space to dream, take risks, and be able to explore more possibilities for my life. Many people find it difficult to create change in their lives because they lack someone that believes in them. I have parents, aunts, uncles, grandparents, teachers, and managers who believe in me. Their support gives me an advantage, and because of this, nothing motivates me more than trying to be that person for others. I am inspired by what the writer Leo Roston once argued was the purpose of life: to be useful, to be honorable, to be compassionate, to have it make some difference that you have lived and lived well. The Pathless path has helped me see that quitting my job was never about escaping work or living an easier life. It was about using the gifts I received from my parents to benefit others. Helping people live courageously so that they can thrive is one of the most important things in the world. I want to see people live the lives they are capable of, not just the ones they think they are allowed to live. I wrote this book to show you that this is possible. My journey on the Pathless path is about slowly figuring this out and helping countless people from around the world realize the same thing. Now it's your turn. What follows is not a simple playbook, but an invitation to join me on the pathless path to see what might happen if we imagine a new story together. Ready? Perfect. Thanks for reading with me. See you later.